Greetings to you from Houston, Texas. I'm Mayor Sylvester Turner, and I want to wish you a happy Earth Day. This annual occasion has been made more momentous in the United States this year, where President Biden is convening 40 world leaders in a summit on climate. In line with this leadership convening, I'm thrilled to share with you my chairman's agenda for my 2021 term as board chair for the Resilient Cities Network. The Resilient Cities Network is a city-led practitioner network focused on advancing solutions for impact. Our network is uniquely constituted to be able to advance real action in cities. I would argue there is nothing more urgent in our world today. The chair's agenda I'm announcing here today is to advance in cities around the world resilient, climate-ready infrastructure that is equitable and produces green jobs. Presidents, prime ministers, investors, and insurers from across the world, I hope you are listening. Let me share with you why resilient climate-ready infrastructure that is equitable and produces green jobs is the solution from the perspective of my own hometown of Houston. The resilience building investments we are making in Houston will lead to transformational change. In the face of unrelenting challenges, these investments to keep our people safe and make our cities more equitable are increasingly urgent. Hurricane Harvey in 2017 was a defining moment for many Houstonians on climate change. It reset the clock. It pushed our ambitions and with them, our actions. Hurricane Harvey was the largest rain event in North American history. It was bigger, slower, and had 40% more rain than it would have had if it had occurred 100 years ago. Extreme weather events are more frequent and more severe due to climate change. Let there be no doubt, climate change is real and pressing. We cannot afford to stand still, and in Houston, we are not. In February 2020, I released the Resilient Houston Strategy, underwritten by Shell Global. In April 2020, I released my Climate Action Plan, our science-based, community-driven measures to meet the Paris Agreement goal in our city of carbon neutrality. These plans came just in time. In March 2021, we published our Resilient Houston one-year report. It outlined what has been accomplished, what is in progress, and where we need to focus in 2021. In 1 year, 92% of our strategic actions have moved forward, but there is still much more to do. The historic winter storm of February 2021 in Texas brought cascading infrastructure failures and horrendous impacts on individuals and families. Our state power infrastructure was not designed to handle such temperatures, and our deregulated power market, prioritizes profits over resilience. This disaster was a failure of planning. It was predictable and preventable, and it was a tragedy. More of our people died during this winter storm from carbon monoxide poisoning and extreme cold than during Hurricane Harvey. We must therefore build systems that are resilient, equitable, and sustainable. We must act with the urgency that is required to bring about transformational change. I personally invite you all to join us. Cities across our network have continued to find value in investing in resilient, climate-ready infrastructure throughout the pandemic. In many cases, chief resilient officers and resilient officers around the world have stepped in, serving a critical role coordinating pandemic response. Our network is uniquely constituted to be able to advance real action in cities. As a city-led network founded and operated by expert practitioners, we know that cities are where ideas get tested, where projects get implemented, and if successful, where they get replicated and brought to scale. There are hundreds of examples from across our incredible city network. National governments may shape policy, but cities develop, test, and implement actions. We are the boots on the ground. We are the boats in the waters. Resilient cities can help move actions on resilience from conversations interpreting global targets and advocating for national level funding to real live city actions that delivers multiple benefits, not only for today's challenges, but to secure our collective, equitable green future. My chairman's agenda for this year is focused on advancing and investing in resilient, climate-ready infrastructure that is equitable and produces green jobs. This is not just a policy agenda, it's an action agenda. An agenda to ensure that future investments in cities maximize the multiple benefits of reducing greenhouse gas emissions, creating green jobs, and accelerating a just recovery. My three immediate priorities as chairman are to assess what we at Resilient Cities are already doing across the network that advances this agenda, engage with our existing communities of practice and other established partners to share knowledge around this agenda, and mobilize resources to deliver place-based projects in multiple cities that advance the goals of this agenda. Our Resilient Cities Board is comprised of elected officials, private sector leaders, philanthropists, multilateral development experts, and city practitioners with expertise in finance, science, energy, water, infrastructure, technology, analytics, and real estate. Together, my colleagues have committed to support the chair's agenda by championing equitable, resilient, climate-ready structures, infrastructure projects that delivers green jobs, increasing city capacity to leverage financing and invest in climate-resilient services, and hosting forums to exchange expert knowledge together with the crucial roles that cities play in advancing a resilient recovery. As you can see, the agenda I have outlined is important, not only to me, the City of Houston, and to cities in the Resilient Cities Members Network, but to each and every one of our partners and city dwellers around the world. I look forward to working with each of you, your cities and organizations, to accomplish this task throughout the next year. At the Resilient Cities Network, we are specifically committed to seeing results by the time of 3 major global convenings on our horizon this year: the World City Summit in Singapore, the World Economic Forum, also to be hosted in Singapore, and of course, COP26 in Glasgow. We will be working to ensure cities occupy a seat at the leadership table, steadfastly advancing the agenda of resilience, climate-ready infrastructure that is equitable and produces green jobs. In times of trouble, it is our network that sustains us. They can be ever expanding and reinforcing. No city can deliver alone. Strategic partnerships with the private sector will continue to be essential to this agenda. I will work across my own portfolio and city to amplify a consistent message of investing in resilience precisely where equity, infrastructure, climate, energy transition, and jobs intersect. The time is now. This is the moment where we can collectively together align and accelerate our efforts. Best wishes to all, and a very, very happy Earth Day.